Hello, this is my day 68 video here at UBC, and I'll title this one Underwhelming Abilities. So I'll start off by saying today was by no means a bad day. I would consider this actually a good day. However, I cannot say a lot of good things happened, if that makes sense. So woke up, first thing in the morning was my AppSite presentation. I did the 67 video saying I was doing a disservice to my group by being tired and going to bed late. Honestly, it wasn't a big deal. I showed up and I was first of all, I dressed up nice. But I think when wearing dress pants and a button up, it gives you an extra amount of energy for whatever reason. At least for me, definitely for me, because I like getting dressed up, I guess, and it exudes confidence and professionalism. So I wasn't tired in any way. So just thought I'd clarify that real quick. But yeah, I'm good at what I do. I show up at 9:59. There's it starts at 10, right? Well, 10 is when the class starts. Our presentation was last. Anyways, though, I show up. There's only one group mate there, and man, this group mate, I swear, it's the same group mate that keeps saying passive aggressive statements without meaning to, or I don't know if he means to or not, but constantly saying passive aggressive things I'm there on time, but right? And he's oh good, at least someone's here. It was already 10 o'clock and nobody was here and I was getting worried. And I'm bro, it's not even 10 yet. Literally the next group mate appeared within the next 20 seconds, still on time as well, right? Come on, man. Why you gotta start off by ruining the mood? Whatever. Anyways, then it was time for a presentation. We did not make it under the time limit, not at all. So no surprise there. But I'll talk about the presentation a bit more. So I had basically one of the starting. I didn't have the intro necessarily, but I had the start of the content basically. I did fairly well with my presentation. I spoke loudly, clearly. At one point, I did fumble quite hard. I wanted to say car industry, but I blanked on the word industry really hard because it wasn't part of my script. It was something I added in that morning after having seen other presentations. I'm you know what, I want to add this point into my presentation. It's 10 seconds tops, right? But I blanked hard on the word industry, so I had to come up with something out of my ass, and I said car production conglomeration or something. The words that I said were just nonsense. So that was a bit rough, but other than that, my presentation went well. And then the person that followed me is my favorite group mate. And this was a shock to me but his presentation skills are pretty bad. His voice was really quiet, and he spoke really slowly, and he stumbled a lot. And I did not see this coming in the slightest because he's usually a really confident person. Well, he's naturally confident, so I figured that would translate into presentation skills. Surprisingly, he did not have those, and he really slowed down our group in terms of time. Really badly. He took 3 minutes. We were still within the time limit at that point because he's only the third speaker, but still, we have more content to cover after you. And that was really surprising, to be honest. But then two other speaker guys go, they speak fairly quickly, so we're almost back on track. We had a 12-minute timer, but we only have 9 minutes. So I spoke to the last group mate, the slowest group mate. I'm hey, make sure to finish by 3:30 so then we can summarize and finish within the time limits, right? So, and he started at 5, so he had a minute and a half. And yeah, I don't know, this guy can see the time. You can cut down on what you want to say and just fit the time limit, especially because his content were just potential benefits or potential drawbacks. It's not even our main point. It's just additional information. And yeah, like I said, this guy just tanked, and he just kept on talking for another 2.5 minutes, and then we had to summarize. So we were a minute and a half over the time limit, minute 47, I think. Whatever, but this guy had the power to do it right, and he didn't, which is whatever. I'm not gonna get into that, but just before when we were presenting, I was the only one that was seeing the time, Like this time, everybody could see the timer, so you could pace yourself, and I don't know why you wouldn't. Whatever. I was honestly the only thing I really want to talk about was how surprised I was that like my favorite group mate fumbled really hard actually on presentation day. But oh well, nothing you can do. But that was really surprising. I did not see that coming in the slightest. Um, Following that, I had a breakfast. Talked with my friend the way. How about how his presentation went. He also complained a fair bit about his teammates. He said one of them never like took his eyes off his flashcards, and he spoke so quietly that the way his groupmates standing like a couple meters away from him could not hear him properly. So at least none of my groupmates did that. They all spoke loudly. Slowly, sure, but they spoke loudly at least. But yeah, that was so. I feel bad for my friend. Then, yeah, and then after that, I went like did some laundry. Then I worked on like chemistry post lab. I had done half like of chemistry and half of physics yesterday, and today was like time to finish it up. The chemistry post lab was okay. It wasn't that bad, honestly. It was a lot better than the previous one, but I don't know. Just I wasn't dialed in today, I guess, while working on assignments. So I was doing a pretty poor job of focusing, and while solving, I was making mistakes. As in, like basically, I just like wasn't getting the answer choices. So at least I wasn't losing points for my mistakes, but still like pretty poor like academic performance. If that makes sense, and I was fairly disappointed in myself. But finally, ended up getting everything. Got 100 on the post lab assessment, so good enough. And then following that, we had like a physics assignment. It was fine. It was one question of like 8 parts, 7. Sorry, 7 parts, and I got stuck on step number 2. It was first of all, step number 2 was by far the hardest part, and I just got stuck because I made a really stupid mistake, and I just reversed 2 temperatures. So when I was like calculating efficiency, I kept getting like 1.79 when it was supposed to be like 1 minus 0.79. So it was just like I had like my negatives in the wrong place basically. The method of solving was almost there, but the next parts literally depended on part 2. It was like calculate the efficiency, then compare this to like a Carnot cycle, and then like so on and so forth. So like I really needed that value. I really needed to sub the equation properly, and like I didn't. And I just couldn't move on, and I got stuck for like 30 minutes just like sitting there trying to figure it out. Like, yeah, when I noticed that like I had the wrong temperatures, man, I sort of was, yeah, I don't know if I was happy or like just wanted to cry, but yeah, hence like the title of the video, like underwhelming abilities / underwhelming performance, because I wasn't doing great today. But anyways, after that, had a lunch, got myself a couple sandwiches, yummy, quite good, and then came back to my dorm, and it was really cold outside and rainy, so I like just laid in bed under like my blanket and like scrolled my phone, like took a like 30-minute nap at one point. I was snuggled up. It was quite cozy, and like it was time to wake up or get up for Muay Thai, so got ready and headed over to Muay Thai. Muay Thai was quite good today. The warm up was fun. We had like a more or less standard warm up. The warm up, like our first part of our warm up, was almost equivalent to all our other warm ups, but it was a bit easier than the other ones. So I was like, oh, okay, nice. Like we're getting off light today. I shouldn't have made that assumption, because the instructor was like, okay, guys, so today we're gonna do something different. We're gonna play tag. And basically he gave like 5 people pads, and the people with pads would chase others around the room, and if you got tagged, you would have to do 10 kicks on each side, basically against the person with the pads, and then you'd become the pad holder. So you were continuously running, and if you got tagged, you'd be doing like a lot of kicks. So we played tag for like, I don't know, 5 minutes, and man, that was some cardio, I tell you. And then following that, the instructor switched it a bit, and we were doing like frog jumps instead of just running. So yeah, that was interesting. I'm fairly familiar with like animal movements, so I felt quite comfortable. At one point, the main instructor was the paddle holder, and he was like chasing me, and like I just like went like full speed, and then like he was like, "Bro," like he just like laughed out loud. He said like the instructor said he was booking it like while talking about me, so that was funny. It was a really fun warm up. I didn't get tagged once. Like I started as a pad holder, and then like after I handed it off to someone, I didn't get tagged once just because I'm fast. But it was quite fun and really, really cardio intensive. It was crazy. Like the warm up ended, I was just laying on my back, just like trying to recover in any way possible. And then the rest of the class was fine. Later on, I had sparring. Sparring was insane, by the way. We got to practice in a different room today, so it was a bigger room, which actually meant, first of all, air circulation, which was amazing. There was like no overheating going on. But second of all, they allowed basically all sparring matches to go on at once. The instructor basically just said like nobody injure each other, like don't do this type of hit. He's like, I trust you guys. If your partner's doing something you don't like, talk with them. You don't have to fight with the partner, right? And if anybody was uncomfortable, they were leaving. So I did like what, 6 matches? 5. No, there were 6. I got to do 5. I got unlucky with one of them, or there was an odd number of people. It was fun. I like my fighting abilities are quite poor, I would say. Like today was a humbling kind of experience in Muay Thai, to be honest. I don't know what I'm necessarily doing wrong. I do have a really bad habit of like flinching or like closing my eyes when the hit is coming right at me. Like even like I'm flinching as I'm bringing my hand up to block it, but the problem is like while I'm flinching, my like field of vision is narrowed and I can't see anything, and the next hit comes out of nowhere. So I really need to get over that pretty bad habit. At least I'm doing a much better job of keeping my guard up, and I'm quite good at turtling up. At one point, I went against like an MMA fighter. So I was thinking AMC fighter. I don't know why. I went against an MMA fighter, and he was really good at like dominating, I guess. But I was doing a fairly good job of turtling up against the hits. So I guess that's good enough. Like at least my defense is mostly there. Mostly because a few hits did slip through, obviously. But I was really struggling with offense today. I don't know why. My spacing was off. Closing a distance was like challenging. I tried using the instructor's advice and it did work a couple of times, but I've often found that like as soon as I'm trying to step in closer, the person's knee just comes up and their knee basically inhibits all my kicks, and it keeps a physical barrier between us, and I don't really know what to do against that. So I really struggle with offense today. Like now that I'm thinking about the battles and like going over them in my head, I did a really good job of defense. I barely got tapped in the face today, actually. Like a lot less than the previous sparring matches I've had. So that's a major improvement. Like I'm actually getting quite happier now. But I really struggle with offense today for whatever reason. Granted, whenever I use like my karate kicks and like my karate movements, like it still works. Like the MMA fighter, like at one point, like I could have clocked him really hard in the side of the head. Like he did not see. Like I did like a switch kick, where like I fake with a right and then I'm just jump and like hit with the left. And this guy, he did not see it at all. The kick was right there. So like good stuff. And a couple of my other matches as well. Like people just could not like predict where the kicks would be coming from. But some other matches, the person just got used to like me being reliant on kicks, and they would just stick their knee out, and basically from whichever angle I would try to approach, they would just rotate it. And I guess in that moment, the solution is to like target their base leg, but I don't know. I struggled today with offense, which has never really happened, so that was humbling. But yeah, it's road to improvement, right? We all start somewhere. Like this is not a style of fighting I'm necessarily familiar with, so I'm enjoying it. Just sharing my thoughts. Finally came back, had a shower, like had a late dinner. I made it there like 10 minutes before the dining hall closed. Like, I try to get like myself a salad because it's been a hot second since I've had one. They were basically just out of vegetables, so I just worked with what I had there. And then after that, I stopped by a coffee shop, got myself a London Fog, and I got myself some Tim Tams, which is like some chocolates. I think they're actually a really great snack because they're quite okay. I wouldn't say they're quite filling, but eating you can't just eat them all at once. So it takes some time and it makes you think that you're more full. So it was a good investment. I've been pretty bad about using my flex dollars, to be honest. It's, oh, I'm basically like over halfway done with the semester, and I have $170 left out of like 250 that I started with. So basically, for this entire month, anytime I want to get extra food, I'm gonna be trying to use the flex dollars. On someday, maybe tomorrow, honestly, I'm gonna stop by one of the stores that accepts flex dollars. I'm just gonna buy snacks from there, because to be honest, I've just been okay. I won't say I've been wasting money, but I haven't been as smart as I could have been with my like spending in the past couple months. So yeah, um, and yeah, just I chilled in my room with the London Fog. Like enjoyed it. It was yummy, um, and that was about it. I don't today. Like I got a lot done today, so I think that's why I consider today a good day. But I can't say a lot of good things happened, if that makes sense. It's not like I completely dominated in Muay Thai. It's not like I breezed through the assignments. They took me a lot longer than they should have. But I mean, I did everything. So yeah, I don't know. It's a weird day, but nothing good. Okay, not that much bad happened either, but nothing great happened. But I still consider it a good day, if that makes sense. Yeah. Oh well, with that, I'm done. I hope you guys are doing good, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.